Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of CNB Bazaar Buzz here on the NDTV network. And before we start, I'd like to wish you a very happy new year. We wish you had a great sort of end of the year last year, and we do wish you have a lovely 2019 too. That said, let's get straight into our show, and here's what we have in store for you today. Renault Captur Petrol driven, Mini's facelifted convertible Cooper S, and some fun on Royal Enfield motorcycles. So the Renault Captur has been in the market for a little while, and now of course it has a little sibling called the Nissan Kicks. But the Renault Captur did have one big problem: it didn't have a petrol engine to begin with. Now though it does, and we've been driving around for a little bit, and here's our quick little review of what the petrol engine has to offer and how it's different from the normal popular diesel version. Take a look.
When we first reviewed the Renault Captur, we only got to drive the diesel version. Nonetheless, we were quite impressed by it. The crossover-like SUV came with a bold and stylish design, a bunch of segment-first features, and a very capable engine borrowed from the Duster. Now we have finally managed to get our hands on the petrol version as well, and we have a lot of things to talk about it, so let's get started.
Yes, we finally get a chance to test the petrol version of the very stylish and premium Renault Captur. This beautiful red and ivory RXT variant shares its features list with the diesel counterpart, whereas the mechanicals come from the Duster Petrol. And we are here to tell you more about them.
Visually, there is no mentionable difference between the petrol and diesel version of the Captur. Not even an engine badging. The Captur we drove came with a new, recently introduced dual-toned radiant red color with marble ivory roof with the blacked out B and C pillar. In fact, exterior features like the swept back projector headlamps, the C-shaped LED daytime running lamps, the large grille, the stylish 17-inch alloy wheels, and the LED tail lamps all remain identical to the diesel model. Overall, the Captur is a very good looking car, and its crossover-like design truly helps it stand out in a segment that has only seen butch and boxy SUVs. We said it before and we are saying it again, the cabin of the Captur is truly a nice place to be in. The car comes with dual-tone black and ivory interior, while the dashboard features body-colored bezels for the aircon vents and the center display area, which in this case is red. At the center we have a 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system, which is quite nice to use, but like the diesel model, it still doesn't get Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. What it does offer is automatic climate control, cooled glove box, electrically operable ORVMs, along with standard safety features like dual front airbags, ABS with EBD and brake assist, and driver seatbelt reminder.
Unlike the white and gold interior of the diesel-powered Platin variant we drove in 2017, this particular RXT trim gets black and ivory treatment with matching fabric upholstery and white accents. Furthermore, we also get rear AC vents, a center armrest, and a power socket here at the back.
Under the hood, the Captur Petrol gets the same tried and tested 1.5 litre H4K petrol engine that powers the Duster SUV. The engine is tuned to offer 105 brake horsepower at 5,600 RPM and develops a peak torque of 142 Newton meters between 2,200 and 4,000 RPM. The 5-speed manual gearbox that comes mated to the engine is also quite a treat. The gear shifts are smooth and each one of them fell in the right slot without any fuss. The motor itself feels quite peppy, offering smooth and linear power delivery with good low and mid-range performance. The suspension is set a bit on the softer side, allowing the car to tackle the undulations on the road pretty nicely. and the NVH levels of the Captur are also very much in control. Priced at 9,99,000 rupees to 11,45,000 rupees, the Captur Petrol is very much in the same price range as its key rival, the Hyundai Creta. With a bunch of standard safety features and premium creature comforts on offer, the Captur Petrol does make a strong case for itself. So, if you are out looking to buy a petrol SUV and do not mind going for something not too mainstream, yet capable and feature-packed, the Captur is definitely worth considering.
While the Captur hasn't really done well in terms of sales, I do think that petrol engine does have a market, because there are a lot of people who are actually moving back to petrol engine cars as compared to diesel, because of course the price disparity between petrol and diesel now isn't that large, and of course they are getting more and more fuel efficient. That said, from a very practical SUV to something that's a lot more fun and that'll give you and me a massive smile on my face, it's the Mini Cooper S Convertible. Now, I'm a big fan of convertibles. I am partial towards them because I do like that, well, wind in my hair. But, well, jokes aside, it's a great little car. Now it's got a little facelift. I've been driving it around in the night, and I have a little quick review for you. Check this out. There have always been cars that have defined countries they've come from. A Beetle or maybe a Mercedes from the 90s defines German car culture. The United States is defined by maybe a Ford Mustang or a Cadillac from the 1950s with those massive fins. And of course, us in India, we've got stuff like the Maruti 800 to always hark back upon. But nothing, and I mean no other car in the world, can define the Brits like a Mini Cooper can. And this one, well, they've given it a bit of an update. So we're going to check it out and tell you what's new. Well, from the looks of it, there isn't much that has changed. But look closer and there are a few subtle differences. And if you're wondering why we have decided to shoot this car in the middle of the night, well, it's because of all the new lighting elements in the car. You get a new set of LED daytime running lights with new headlamps in general, and although it might not look immediately recognizable, the full halo does make the car look a lot nicer. And then of course there is this, the super sexy Union Jack tail lamps. Makes me stand in attention and sing God Save the Queen every time I see them. And the cool lighting bit continues on the inside. In fact, the whole Union Jack theme has been done rather nicely too. The little dashboard panel on the left glows in the same motif, and of course you do have a lot of those tiny little flags dotted all around. And if I can muster up all my Britishness, I'd say it is quite marvellous indeed. And before I forget, you also get that new infotainment screen with a much better user interface, and all those additional bits like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, etc, etc. But this is a Mini, and it is a convertible. So let's put that roof down and do what it does best, drive. Now everybody keeps talking about how the Mini Cooper is a go-kart for the road, and while that might be marketing jargon, it's actually very true. It's one of the best front-wheel drive hatchback chassis out there and gives you that direct feel from the steering wheel, from the suspension, that almost nothing else actually does, which is why it's very popular with tuners, with a whole bunch of enthusiasts, and of course a lot of motorsport people. But BMW has basically not changed a thing when it comes to the mechanical bits for the upgrade for this facelift or the updated Mini. It still gets the 2-litre engine up front, turbocharged 4-cylinder pot, 189 horsepower, 280 Newton meters of peak torque, and a whole bunch of fun. And my god, it is fun with a massive capital F. And with the roof down, you can really hear all those mechanical noises oh so well. The chirp of the blow-off valve, the turbo spooling up, and of course that slightly spotty exhaust note. And yes, if this was my car, I'd opt for a slightly obnoxious set of pipes. This is just one of those cars that demands certain mods, ASAP. At a whooping 37 lakh rupees ex-showroom Delhi, the Cooper S isn't cheap. Oh no, it ain't. But it is certainly special. It turns heads, opens doors, and most importantly, it gives me, the driver, a giant smile on my face. It sort of proves the statement again and again. You don't really need 600 horsepower to have fun. You only need about 190, a drop top, and that makes you feel so alive. Well, now since I have had my share of fun with the Mini Cooper S, sort of hustling around Delhi streets in the middle of the night, and the sun has finally decided to peek its head out, it's time to put that roof back up, which of course you can do in the move if you opt to, and it's time to get back to reality. I hope you did enjoy that slightly different video that we did. It was a good amount of fun driving around Delhi streets in the middle of the night. Of course, we were following all the rules and all those speed limits, but it still was a whole bunch of fun. As you can see, I still have that big grin on my face. That said, we'll come back later after the break with another story, a lot more fun, but this time on two wheels. Stay tuned. Welcome back to CNB Bazaar Buzz. Now, before the break, we brought you that petrol Captur review and of course that fun review of the Mini Cooper S Convertible. Now though, it's time to go from 4 wheels to 2 and have some fun on some Royal Enfields. Now, Session has been riding around on them in a slightly different environment and he's been having a ball of a time. Check out his story.
The riding community is Royal Enfield's biggest strength. And it's events like these which make Royal Enfield such an aspirational brand for riders and for those who want to become riders and become a part of the Royal Enfield Brotherhood. The Royal Enfield Scramble is such an event, a specially designed adventure riding competition that tests your riding ability, navigation skills and teamwork.
We are here in Gurugram for the 4th season of Royal Enfield Scramble. Close to 20 participants from across the northern region of India are here to compete with us in this adventure sport riding event. It is going to be 3 days of extreme adventure riding, team play and lots of fun.
The 2018 edition of the Royal Enfield Scramble saw a total of 10 teams participate, mostly from Delhi and NCR, and each team consisted of 2 riders.
Hi, I am Ankit Bhatnagar. I am from Delhi NCR and here at the Royal Enfield Scramble, this is my first event of any such kind held at Off-Road Adventure Park, and as the name suggests, it's really an adventure riding on the dirt track. It was pretty good for the day 0 as we commence the main event tomorrow. It's a 2-day event and it's gonna be fun, that I can tell you.
Hi, I'm Aniket Saxena. So this was probably the first time I am riding on a track, and yeah, I have an Himalayan, but I've never really rode it on a trail or something. So this was like, I was sort of scared, but then after the first stage, I was like pretty much, I wasn't that scared. I was like, okay, I'll just, let's just go with the flow.
Today we're here at the Royal Enfield Scramble event. This is my first time participating in such an event. I went through the course. It was quite challenging. There were spots where, you know, I was in 2 minds as to should I slow down or should I speed up.
While the event is mainly suited for the Royal Enfield Himalayan, it did not stop some riders from participating with their regular Royal Enfield motorcycles like the Classic 350, Thunderbird 350 or even the Bullet 500. The starting point and the off-road arena for all 3 days was the Off-Road Adventure Zone or ORAZ in Gurugram. The entire event was divided into two parts. The main race event was where the teams were to be given a list of 8 to 9 GPS coordinates, which were called waypoints, each accounting for a certain amount of points. The first team to cover all waypoints and reach the final destination scored the highest points. The other part of the event involved a series of technical off-road tasks. This involved riding through a meticulously designed off-road track with steep climb-ups and embankments and downhill sections, sand tracks, gravel and a bunch of other obstacles.
Scramble was conceived last year and we ran 3 programs in Himachal, Rajasthan and Punjab. But that was on a different concept altogether. It was on a rally concept and the riders had to go through various stages and the fastest bike wins. So then this year we decided to make a small change and we went down the technology route. So now we are giving waypoints which fall on Google Maps. And this also actually helps get away from the expensive GPS and other devices that you need for the rally and come to something that everybody has, which is a smartphone.
The event marshals recorded the start and end time of every rider and also the exact time when he or she reaches a particular waypoint. The collective scores of the members of each team were calculated for the final score. The technical off-road rounds were conducted at the end of each day, each more challenging than the previous one. The most difficult one, of course, was the one designed for the final day. In addition to gravel, sand and mud, we also had to go through heavy muck and slippery slush that was almost over a foot deep. Luckily for us, we were on a Himalayan and things were somewhat easy for us compared to the riders on other models. In fact, we completed the course in 5 minutes and 28 seconds. To put things into perspective, the longest it took someone to complete a lap was 12 minutes and 31 seconds. Despite the fact that we were not able to complete the race on both days, there is no doubt that the experience was unlike any other. 3 days of hardcore adventure and off-road riding definitely took an immense toll on our bodies. In the end, though, it was all worth it. And if there is an opportunity for the next season of the Royal Enfield Scramble, it will be time for redemption.
And that's all we have time for this week on the show. I do hope you enjoyed that Cooper S review because it was a little different. We've tried something new, shooting it in the middle of the night, and I did have a lot of fun driving it. But as always, please remember, wear your helmets if you're on a two-wheeler, wear your seatbelts if you're in a car, and I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.